In this week's video, I'll be showing you the exact design process to model a spiral vase for 3D printing in Fusion 360, and you can buy it if you don't want to make it yourself. And since I'm not here to waste your time, let's jump right in. So this here is the model of my spiral vase, and there's a number of ways that you can go about creating a vase. I've seen people use the form function, but I'm not too familiar with that, so I opted for a parametric model that I can actually make changes to once the model has already been completed. So how did I go about actually creating this model? If I turn on the sketches for you, you can actually see there's a number of sketches, 5 to be exact, all centralized among the same axis. And on each of these sketches, I have a triangle on the end that I can change the position of using this dimension right here. And with each of these sketches, if I just come back to the very start, so you'll see this is the very start of the model, and the next step was to simply create a plane. You create this plane however high up you want the next sketch to be, and then start your next sketch on it. You'll see with this next sketch, if I look at it directly from above, the circle is slightly larger, and the triangle on the side of it, the angle has actually been changed. And that is because I'm going to be using a loft command, which will connect this triangle to the next, and because it's at a different angle, it's not going to travel straight up, it's going to create a free flowing pattern. And basically it is just this, and you repeat that a few times, creating another plane off the top of it, offsetting planes, and then adding sketches to them. And then once I have all of the planes and all the sketches in place, now it's time to use the loft command. And as you can see, the loft swerves between each of the triangles quite smoothly. And the reason that it is quite smooth is because if I check inside of this sketch right here, I've created a 3D sketch, and the way to turn on the 3D sketch is by clicking on this tick box in the bottom right once you have a sketch open. And then I've used the spline tool, and we're just going to connect each of the triangle's corners for each of the 3 sides. Now I must note, it doesn't have to be a triangle, this can be whatever shape that you like, but just make sure that you've enabled these guide rails, because when it comes to using the loft function, you'll see that I have all of the profiles selected, and that is each one of these triangles. And then the guide type is going to be the rails, and I've just selected each of the 3D sketch splines, and that ensures that the profile that we're creating perfectly matches up with the sketches we already have in place. And if I was to show you what it's like when we don't have the rails added, you see that the body that we're creating isn't quite so uniform, and also doesn't exactly follow the diameters of the sketches that we've created, and ultimately doesn't look very good once it's been completed. So ensure that you use those guidelines, and now what you'll have is just like a curvy line. And then what we want to do is make any amendments to this curved line. So what I did is I added a nice fillet on the end of it, or a chamfer even. So I added a chamfer to the end of it, and that just creates a nice face along the side of it and adds a little bit more depth and character to the model. And then we're going to be using the circular tool. And what the circular tool does is you simply just highlight the body that you're looking to copy, and then you're going to select the axis using this selection box over here. And I'm just going to select the origin axis, and then I'll create 30 bodies that spin around this original axis, and ends up leaving me with something a little bit like this. Now at this point in time, I would love to tell you that the vase is completely finished, but if I bring out the section analysis tool and I start cutting through it, you'll notice that the wall thicknesses vary quite a lot, and in some places, depending on the design that you've decided to go for, you'll notice that the walls themselves can actually get quite thin. So in order to make a vase that is actually watertight, we now need to create a body inside of this shell that we've created. And the way that I've done this is, first off, is to add a bottom to it. So I just created a sketch on the bottom and then made an extrusion, and there you can see we've got a nice bottom to the vase, and we can actually put things in there. Another thing that I've done with this bottom is I've actually added a taper angle onto the extrusion, and this just has made it so that when I have created the extrusion, rather than it coming straight up, it actually comes out at 20 degrees, and that way I don't have a awkward gap at the very bottom in between the shell we've created and the base that we're now creating. So that just fills the gaps quite nicely. Now it's time to add in the shell for the walls. And if I open up this sketch, you'll see that what I have done is, when I was creating the sketch, first off, I would use the section analysis tool just to cut it in half. And I'll show you this. And then what I would have done is projected all of these bodies, so I'll just press P and then you can click on the faces that you want to add to the sketch plane. And then I created this line right here, and this is just another spline, and I've just followed the edge that we've had almost made for us when we used the circular pattern to create our shell. And this doesn't have to be perfect, it just, as you can see, like, it's not completely perfect. But what we need to do is just closely follow the line and create a smooth edge throughout all of these jagged lines. And then after that, what I've done is this shape and this shape are both just 1 or 2 mil offsets from that original center line. And then what that allows us to do is add in a revolve. So what I've done is I have revolved the faces that I've shown you and just done it around the center line that I mentioned before, as you can see right here. And this has thickened up the wall. As you can see now, this is cut in half. The walls are actually a lot thicker, and because they're thicker, they're going to be watertight, so it will actually hold water. With the vase designs that I've 3D printed personally, I found that they don't hold water, which kind of makes it useless when it comes to designing a vase. But if you wanted to put live flowers in here, then you're going to want a thicker wall. And that's exactly what this revolve achieves. So before shows this, and in this case there was already a decent wall thickness, but you may find that if you use a different design for your circular copy, then you might end up with very thin walls, and that's why it's good practice to add our after here. Smooths out the inside and also allows us to create thicker walls if we needed. Once I was done creating the vase, I added the branding to the bottom. So this is my home decor brand, Kesh, and that was just a case of extruding up by 2 mil. And lastly, what I did is I used a revolve command just to chop off the end at the top here. Honestly, it's not necessary, but I know that these ends are going to be slightly sharp, so I just wanted to add a little bit of a feature and ensure that it was maybe a little bit easier to handle. Now, one thing I want to point out before you go off and design your own is that if you are going to 3D print this, you need to make sure that there isn't an overhang. Most printers add supports to overhangs that are, I believe, at 60 degrees, and you do not want to be adding supports to your vases, especially if you're planning to 3D print, sell them off and ship them off, because that means every single time that you get an order in, you're going to need to remove the supports. Not only is this a waste of filament, this is a waste of your time, and as I'm sure you know if you've 3D printed in the past, when you add supports to your models, you have to remove them and it creates surface imperfections, which, you know, no customer's going to want that. So yeah, if you found this helpful, make sure to subscribe. I've got a lot more videos coming, and if you'd like to buy this vase for yourself, there's a link to my Etsy shop in the description.